Hi everyone. I didn't think I'd be back so soon, but I have a lot to tell you today. I've been reading this book that everyone insisted I should read, and it actually turns out that it's quite interesting and insightful into everything about borderline personality disorder. The book is actually called Overcoming Borderline Personality Disorder, a Family Guide for Healing and Change. I'd recommend anyone who's having issues to go out and buy the book. Not only does it tell you that you're hurting, it also explains to you how all the other people around you are suffering with you as well, due to the fact that you have borderline personality disorder and they feel absolutely helpless because they can't do anything to physically or mentally or emotionally change things for you, which is hard on any sort of family member who cares about you. Thinking back when I found out that I had the disorder, I never realized what a long road ahead I was going to have and the recovery time. And naturally, the recovery time is different between every person. I was reading in the book that this poor young girl was estranged from all of her siblings because they just didn't know how to deal with her. And for a factor, my brother used to be my best friend, if you would put it like that, or I was his best friend. And when I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, a lot changed. I wasn't the sister he knew and was used to, and he now walks on eggshells and is afraid to come near me or talk to me or speak to me about certain things because he does not want to hurt or upset me, which is very sweet of him, but I don't want my brother to walk on eggshells. I was my brother's best friend. He came to me for everything. He used to tell me all his secrets. He came to me for all his advice, and I want him to feel like he can come back and do that again. It's not easy when you're put in a situation where you can't explain to yourself, like to say, wow, like I'm not realizing all the people I'm hurting around me. And you do. A borderline person doesn't do it intentionally, but we do hurt people around us, whether it be our parents, our siblings, friends. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of people around us hurt us because they don't know how to deal with us, but we tend to hurt people a lot more than they hurt us because of the simple factor that we're just supposed to be coasting along. I'm coasting, but to me, that's not good enough. I don't want to just be coasting along. I want everything to be wonderful. I want it to be perfect. I want to be the me that I used to be. I want to be the person that, according to this book, states that if you find the right treatment, this is not considered a sentence for the rest of your life, and you can go into remission, okay? And it talks about extremely interesting things in explaining how hard it is loving someone who has borderline personality disorder. This is not the only book I recommend that you go and buy, though. I would recommend that you also go buy Borderline Personality Disorder for Dummies because it explains to you in basically layman's terms how to deal with the disorder and what it's about. And once you get through that book, then I would insist that you move on to the next book. You know, when somebody sat us down and told us we were borderlines or we had BPD, they never gave us a roadmap to where we were supposed to go. No one gave us a roadmap to the right, to the left, make a turn. You have to go at your own pace and at your own time. And I truly believe that within time, anybody can heal, including myself. And I don't believe that completely. I never did completely believe it. I'm actually a very negative person when it comes to thinking that I'm going to heal or I'm going to be okay. And I was basically sitting here just wondering, like, could this really be happening? Like, am I actually having a good day? And I'll have good days, and it'll be like, oh my God, that had to be the best news for me ever. And then it's like, what happened? Like, where did the good day go? Like, it disappeared. And then I'll feel like sulking and like pressure and weight on my shoulders, and like I just want to sleep and get away from the world. And it shouldn't be like that. When you have borderline personality disorder, that's not a death sentence. That's a fighting sentence. You can't not do anything. You have to do something. I believe everybody can fight, including myself, and I don't even want to fight because I don't have the energy left in me to fight anymore. But even I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to fight back for everything that I believe in and everything I believe should turn itself around. I'm willing to fight to prove that we all don't have to sit here and stay in misery or sit in a corner and feel like an outcast because, hey, my mom doesn't understand me, or my dad doesn't want to pay attention to me, or my brother thinks I'm a nut, or my sisters are just too stupid to even pay attention, or anything like that. I know we all have siblings out there who probably think that we're crazy and losing our minds, but you're not. You're not losing your mind. It's your disorder. Just like I want to ask my psychiatrist why, when I hear about other people's problems, I feel sorry in the beginning, and then when they repeatedly keep telling me, it's like, will you shut up? I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, there's so much more going on, and you want to leave it up to chance, and all you want to do is talk about you. But then it's like, what about me? Like, what about me? And then it's little things that you find out. I have a best friend, okay? I kind of count on him for everything, but he can be a bit of a pain in the ass at times. I wouldn't completely say that he's so horrible because I love him like he's my brother and he would do anything for me. But does it hurt when even he himself doesn't understand me? Of course it does. Because he's like my salvation, my safe haven. And if I can't get him to understand, then to me, I'm pretty much screwed because how do I get anyone to understand? It's not easy. It's not easy having borderline personality disorder. It's not easy sitting here and wondering why you're not like everyone else. It's not easy sitting here thinking to yourself, what could I do to change to make everything better and make everything go away? Like, what could I possibly do? It's not about that. It's about you and how you feel. Ask yourself something. Before you found out you were diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, how did you feel about you? Can you remember the best day of your life? Can you remember the best point in your life? Can you remember when things started to go downhill? Can you remember any of that? I can. My best day of my life was when I was a teenager and I was dating a really normal guy. My worst day of my life was the day that I lost my boyfriend, my aunt, my baby, and my other aunt, all in a similarity of months of 9. And then I just wasn't me anymore. And then it really came out when I was dating some stupid dummy from Long Island. And then I went crazy. And then the me that was broken finally hit her last straw and she came out. People with BPD don't look to commit suicide purposely because they want to scare people. They look to commit suicide so that they don't have to feel any more pain because nobody understands how bad the pain gets. The pain in your head, the pain in your heart, the pain in your body, the pain that flows throughout you that feels like it's never ending and it's just going to keep getting worse. You know, I look at people every day and I think to myself, wow, what if I was them? And that sounds horrible to be envious, but I'm not envious of their life or their money. I'm envious of the fact that they're normal. They get to breathe normally. They get to sleep normally. They don't have to worry about taking pills 4 times a day. They don't have to worry about going to X amount of doctor's appointments. They don't have to worry about the fact that, oh my God, if I miss a pill, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna have a panic attack, or I'm gonna be agitated for the rest of the day. It's all the little things that make up one big problem. It's all the little things, and nobody realizes that that one big problem hurts everybody, and it hurts them really bad. I wouldn't recommend to anyone to just give up. After doing what I've done and trying to hurt myself and commit suicide and seeing that the grass is greener on both sides, yes, the grass is greener on the side where there's no more pain. You don't have to feel anything. There's no one there to hurt you. You don't have to be hurt anymore. You don't have to think anymore. That side is pretty amazing. But then there's the other side. What about my mom that I'm leaving behind? What about my little brother who's not going to understand? What about my nephew who's too small? Will he even remember me? Or what about my dad who is very quiet and keeps to himself? Will he be able to forgive me? Will they all be able to forgive me? Will they be able to live the way that I want them to? No. They'll probably live broken, and it would have been all my fault. And that night when I did what I did, I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about them. I was thinking about me. I was thinking about how I didn't want to feel pain anymore and how I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I wasn't thinking about, oh, what happens if I do this? How is it going to affect them? I wasn't thinking about that because it was like, who cares? Like, who really cares? Like, how does this even matter? I want you guys to think long and hard about something, and I want you guys to come and comment on this. I want you to tell me if you can remember when your best day was. Whether you have bipolar disorder, depression, schizophrenia, you name it, neuroses, post-traumatic stress disorder, postpartum depression. I want you guys to sit here and tell me if you remember when your best day was and why it was your best day. And then I want you to sit here and tell me if you can remember when your worst days started to occur. And then I want you to think long and hard, and I want you to tell me what you think you're going to do to make those days better, and what you're going to do to make your life better. Because you know what? If I have to fight, everyone's going to fight along with me, because I don't want to fight alone. And I know a lot of people don't want to fight alone. That's why I'm here. You need to fight. You need to get up and take control. You need to get up and take back your life. And that's exactly what I'm going to start doing. I don't care how much work it takes. I don't care how long it takes. I want my life back. I don't care if I get married, because you know what? I don't need a guy. I thought for so long, including up until recently, I needed a boyfriend so bad to be happy. And I don't. You know who I need to be happy? I need me to be happy. Because then I'll just be happy in general. Because that's what life is all about. Making yourself happy. Not making the person next to you happy, or the one behind you, or in front of you, or the one yet to come along. It's about making you happy. You don't want to suffer in pain anymore. You don't want to feel regret. You don't want to feel emptiness. No one wants to feel like that. I know I don't. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I'm assuming nobody wants to feel like that. So you take this and you think long and hard, and you tell me how you're going to change your world and how you're going to make it a better place, and how you're not going to let your BPD or your bipolar disorder or depression or anxiety or panic disorder or postpartum depression or post-traumatic stress disorder or schizophrenia, etc., or even anger management or any type of neuroses or personality disorders or